Hi there everyone, my name is Zach and welcome to my channel. I've recently seen a video by Matt Easton talking about what type of sword is better in war, whether you would rather have a thrust-centric sword like a spadroon or a cut-centric sword such as a saber or this Persian shamshir. Now, one of the interesting things about this topic is that we often think about it in a one-on-one individual situation and what would win you the most fights. And personally, I think if we're talking about individuals that have not had huge amounts of training, as most of the cavalry in the modern period actually didn't have huge amounts of one-on-one combat training, something like a saber will win them the most one-on-one fights. However, I do not think that something like a saber is necessarily the best cavalry sword. Now, you might be getting ready to type in the comments that I am a complete idiot. So do leave a comment, but wait for a second while I explain. Now, something like a shamshir or a saber is incredibly good at cutting. And cutting is good from a horse, whether you're going at speed or whether you're going slowly. You can get a really good cut on these and you can do an awful lot of damage, especially if, as in the modern period, most of the opponents that you're fighting are not wearing much in the way of armor. However, being able to win a one-on-one fight is not the same as making your unit into an effective cavalry unit. One of the things that we noticed when we were practicing for battle reenactments and for tournaments, not jousts here, we're talking about melee tournaments, is that it is incredibly tempting to slow your horse down in order to reach out for some of those strikes. And what you end up with is that the entire display starts to lose its energy, lose its momentum, and it becomes little chases of individuals going round and round. Now, in a tournament, that can look all right, as long as you keep the impetus going and as long as you're circling out and things like that, that is fine. In fact, it can look very good because you have kind of little dogfights happening. And we see that in some of the paintings of medieval mounted melees. We see individuals kind of heading off and attacking each other. However, that is not what you want your cavalry regiment to do. As soon as a cavalry regiment starts slowing down and gets bogged down, that is when it can come up against its biggest enemy, closed-in infantry blocks. If your cavalry regiment slows down and gets stuck in a long, protracted fight, then you can start bringing in infantry who can then swamp it. And if you're not using your horse's speed, then suddenly your expensive cavalry regiment is just an ineffective infantry regiment that it's very, very easy for about 6 or 7 individuals to gang up on one cavalryman. So a saber, where you're reaching out and where you're attacking and striking and cutting, encourages you into these individual fights. It makes you start thinking, oh yeah, I can get that guy, just hang on, if I just slow down and work on my positioning just a little bit, then I can get him. However, if you are to use a straight sword, which is optimized for point contact, then the only way of attacking someone is at speed with the point out. So that forces the individuals to start thinking about what they're doing as a cavalry regiment rather than what they're doing as an individual. The movement, the sword is practically useless in a dogfighting situation. And so it encourages the individual to get out of those situations as quickly as possible, to ride through their opponents, stop further away, reform, and ride back. So I would say that in a cavalry situation where we're talking about a large body of men trying to be an effective cavalry unit in the modern period, straight swords optimized for thrusting are better than curved swords optimized for cutting? I'll be really interested in your thoughts on this. Do leave them in the comment section down below. Let's get a little bit of conversation going. If you'd like to support me, you could always share this video. You could always like and subscribe, but you know that already. And I'm sure you know that my Patreon is in the description down below. Big thanks to my night level Patreons. Their names are appearing here. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.